Hey everyone, welcome back.
Hello, hello.
Hey, welcome back to day 4 of our winter gardening challenge. Wow, we have made it all the way through and we are now on day 4 with a bonus question and answer time. Plus we've got some pretty exciting giveaways and a little sneak peek actually at the future of our gardening calendars. We've got a neat little presentation, and we're gonna have some fun together this evening. So actually, let me make sure I have our slides here. Huge welcome to everyone. So glad that you're in here. Let's see, I think, well, we're not on the chat here. Okay, here we are. Teresa, Ruth, Anita, Susan, Nancy,
Jean, Linda, Lorna.
Kay, Rebecca, Luis, Jane, Judy, Sherry, Patricia, Carla, so good to see you all.
Georgiana.
Yeah, we love when you introduce yourself into the chat. Let us know who's on. All right, I'm just getting our slides here ready. And we are gonna jump in pretty quick here. So tonight, we are really wanting to focus on you. We've got a little slide deck that we'll go through. Some of it is just a little bit of a recap from before, and also we want to give you a sneak peek at some things that we have planned down the road that are super exciting. We've got our giveaways that we're going to be doing together this evening, right? So who wants to win lifetime access to our elite membership? Just raise your hand in the chat if you want to win lifetime access. We are going to do both giveaways. We have that fast action bonus from last night. First 100 who joined, right, had a second opportunity to win lifetime access. So we're going to do that one, and we're going to do our big giveaway that everyone has an opportunity to be a part of. So that is super, super exciting. And then, yeah, we're going to have lots of question and answer time as well. So
looks like quite a few people are interested.
Okay, it looks like everyone wants to win. Well, I want all of you to win too, but unfortunately, we're only going to have 2 winners. I guess that's the way it goes. But that being said, you know, even if you don't win the giveaway, we have a pretty neat little special for you for actually becoming a member. So we'll do a little review on that too. Well, what do you think, Dad? Looks like we got a good group in here already.
Yeah.
Should we go ahead and pull up the slides and start going through them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to take up too much of your time with just us talking and rambling on. So let's jump right in. And so this evening, we are talking about Winter Gardening Challenge Day 4. This is our bonus question and answer time. We're going to be having a lot of that at the end here. Plus, we're going to be talking about the giveaway winners, and we've got a pretty neat little sneak peek preview here for you about what's coming down the road. So, like I said, big giveaway coming up soon, very soon. We're going to be doing the drawing for that. Every single post, every single comment that was done in the Facebook group is an entry. Plus, if anyone missed it last night, I decided to include everyone who has registered, because I realized some of you are not on Facebook, so we don't want to leave you out. So registered for the Winter Gardening Challenge, which is because you're in here basically, right? You have at least one opportunity to win. But then those who are active in the Facebook group can increase their chance of winning. So we're going to be doing that. Plus, we're going to be doing the drawing for the fast action bonus, the first 100 people who signed up last night. We are going to be doing the drawing for that as well. So looking forward to do that. All right. Now, for tonight, I've got a special little surprise for you. Actually, I mentioned that we would do this last night. And so today, I worked on it and put it together. We have a Winter Gardening Challenge resources document for you. So I'm going to put that offer up here so that you can download that. Download the Winter Gardening Challenge resources list. And let me show you what that list is. It's kind of cool. So I think that you will enjoy it. and hopefully it will be a blessing to you. Let me see, I think I have it open here. Yep, here it is. All right. So this is what it looks like, Winter Gardening Challenge resources. And in here, in this document here, you're going to see our cold tolerant veggies list.
I saw on the Facebook somebody was asking about what vegetables they could grow.
Yeah.
This is your list here.
So this is your list right here. You can just look at this list to look at the different types of veggies that you could be growing. It's got the low freeze tolerant, medium freeze tolerant, high freeze tolerant veggies right there.
These are all things you can grow without heat in the winter.
Yep. So that makes it a lot easier to do this, right? So then I put in here for the timing of your winter garden, that was kind of day 2, right? So here's a link to calculate your first and last frost dates and to get your own click and drop gardening calendar like we premiered last night. So that'll just help a lot with knowing when to plant everything in your garden. And then with protecting your winter crops, we have a bunch of resources on making quick hoops. Here's a direct link out to get rebar stakes from Lowe's, 10-foot electrical conduit pipe, row covers. This is a link to my cousin's Farmer's Friend store, more row covers and accessories. Row covers support some plastics, just several different resources there where you can get row covers. If you want to do metal quick hoops, you can get Johnny's Bender. Ken says, can we download later? Yes, I will make sure to send this out by email, as well as it's going to be posted in the Facebook group. We'll put it in the units in the Facebook group so that you'll have that resource there as well, and you can download it later. And then here's a link to the caterpillar tunnels, also my cousin's store, Farmer's Friend. And then here's some really neat books that we suggest by Elliot Coleman on winter gardening. So if you are interested in going in more depth into winter gardening, check those out. And or, of course, join our Born to Grow Gardening family. We'd love to have you join us here. So that document is for you. It's in your hands now. All right. So let's just pull up our...
Those books by Elliot Coleman, we highly recommend.
Yeah.
That's where we learn.
Yep. So once again, that will be
in the field.
Yeah, that's right. So once again, these will be in the Facebook units and or in the unit. I'll make a unit for today with the resource list and all the resources for each session. I'll send it out by email as well. So let's just do a quick recap of what we have covered so far. What do you say? So day 1, we talked about choosing what to grow and when to grow your winter garden, right? And we talked about what grows in the cold versus the heat. We had kind of the key takeaway. One of the key takeaways there was winter leaves and roots versus summer seeds and fruits, right? Quick little rhyme to help you remember what should be growing in the winter.
Another key takeaway in my mind is we're just working with nature. We're not trying to work against it. You know, we're not trying to grow summer things in winter and just try to work against all that.
Yeah.
Let's just go with the flow here, and it's a lot easier. Exactly.
Day 2, we talked about the timing for your winter garden, creating your planting calendar, right? And what was one of the key takeaways from there? One of those key takeaways that we've seen many of you looks like it was kind of an aha moment for you or something you hadn't thought about before, is that really you're not trying to grow something in the winter, you're trying to grow it ahead of time and then keep it alive through the winter and be harvesting off of it through the winter, right? Yeah. So that's why timing is so important, extremely important. Then day 3, we talked about protecting your winter garden and how to build little quick hoops, and how protection is actually it's more important to protect from the wind and the elements than it is from the cold itself, right? Because you're growing crops that...
the crops you're growing don't mind the cold so much, but the elements and the wind especially can make them, it's just harder on them.
Yeah, yep, so exactly.
Protecting them from that.
Yep. And then today we got our bonus question and answer and wrap up time. So we want to, as we go into this wrap up time, we want to give you a little sneak peek preview of what is down the pipe with our click and drop gardeners. I know a lot of you signed up to get your gardening calendar last night. And so we want to give you a huge personal welcome. Welcome to our family. We're so excited to have you. Just a little shout out to you. Let us know in the chat if you signed up last night. We're so thrilled that you're here. And we want to give you, all of you, a quick little sneak peek at what is coming down the road. You know, we built these calendars because we've been gardening for a while, and we wanted to create something that would make gardening so easy that anyone could do it, right? So that you could just, with a click of a few buttons, you can create your whole planting schedule and have it all ready and set to go, right? And the response that we've gotten back for them has been really amazing. We shared some of this last night. When we first debuted them, the chat just went absolutely crazy. Hey, I see a lot of you saying you signed up last night. Super excited. Hey, welcome, Linnea. Welcome, Ken. Yeah, Vera, welcome. Excited to have you. So like I said here, when we first debuted them, the chat went crazy. And then as people have been using them, we've just had positive feedback come back over and over. And it's really exciting to us to see all of what you guys are excited about, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you make your gardening experience so much easier, right? So, I like here, April says, started my planting calendar, super easy to use. I already have work to do, love it. So we want to give you a sneak peek, because this gardening calendar that we have released right now is what we call in the beta stage. So some people are asking, what does beta member mean, right? What does it mean to be a beta member? So have you all ever heard of alpha, beta, and then it keeps going? What alphabet is that? It's like the
Greek
alphabet, right? But when it comes to software and stuff like that, and programs and stuff like that, they will have what's called an alpha phase and then or a beta phase, where basically it's kind of still in the testing mode. We're still looking for people that, we realize the calendars aren't absolutely perfect, and so we're looking for people that want to jump in for a good deal and be able to use it and give feedback and stuff like that.
It's developed enough that it's workable.
Yep.
And usable, but it's not what we're aiming for yet.
Yep. So then we want to eventually launch out of beta, out to the world. And actually, right now, the calendars are not even available to the public. So what you are getting access to right now, being able to sign up, that's not even available to the public right now. It's shut down. You go to our main website, it's shut down, everything's closed. But right now, you can join. So right now in the calendars, just a quick recap. I know many of you were on last night, so we're just gonna fly through this. But right now in the calendars, we have those click and drop planting schedules, right, that you can drop into your calendar. It includes the leapfrog planting, where you can easily make these succession plantings so you have a continual harvest. The weekly checklist of garden tasks of what to do each week just really gives you a lot of clarity. Detailed instruction and demonstration videos, the easy seeding and harvest filters, so you can just filter down to the specific tasks. Your frost zone, right? Quick links to our favorite varieties. And that is a start, but it's not where we want these calendars to be in the end. So what we have decided to do is we have decided to rebuild the calendars from the ground up. So we are currently working with a developer, and we are going to be building out these calendars from the ground up. And here's just a sneak peek of some things that we've been throwing together. So this is just a mock-up of what these calendars may look like in the future. They'll probably look a little bit different than this, but we're just working on some mock-ups, and we've got a lot of features and plans that we want to make it so much more user-friendly for you. For example, when you drop a crop schedule into the calendar, it's going to be editable, so you can just click and drag that crop planting schedule forward and backward, and place it exactly where you want it. You can add succession plantings really easily, or link them together. You'll be able to filter by the different actions a whole lot easier.
We're going to have our own suggested succession plantings like we do now, but you'll be able to create your own as well.
Yes, you'll be able to create your own. You'll be able to add crops that aren't in the calendar, and you also, when it goes over to the list view, that checklist will actually be checkboxes. So you can literally check them off, and they'll go off into a done tab, right? Where those actions have been done. So all of this is coming down the pipeline, and we are looking at launching out the new version of the app. Our goal is to launch it out by January. I know we're always a little bit sticking ourselves out on the neck, right, when we put out a date, but we want you to know that we are serious about this, and we're taking it forward, and we're looking at launching it out by January. So the cool thing is that when you sign, for all of you who signed up, and for those of you who haven't, when you sign up as a member with us right now, here's the cool thing. Number one, you will automatically get transitioned over into the new app when it's done. And when you sign up today, you get locked in at that price for life. So that means we're never gonna raise the price on you as long as you stick with us as a member, right? So all of the new features in the app that are coming out, right, at your membership level base, you're gonna get all of those features at your membership level, and you're just gonna be able to get all of those upgrades, and we're not gonna raise the price on you. So now is the time to sign in and jump in, because the base level membership probably will be higher than what you see today. So that's exciting, but there's one other thing along with that, and that is that we are, in the future, when we launch out the app, for a very limited time and possibly a limited number of people, we're gonna open up an opportunity for people to get lifetime memberships for the app. So you can pay for a lifetime membership to have access to the app for life and not be on a subscription plan, like a monthly plan or a 6-month plan or a yearly plan or something like that. And we are going to give our members priority access to get those lifetime memberships, right? So if you sign up with as a member today, you will get priority access to be able to get a lifetime membership in the future. So just wanted to let you know that and make sure that you have that on your mind when you're making the decision of whether you want to join. So for those of you who haven't joined and maybe weren't with us last night, this is a quick review of what comes inside the membership. You get your own personal 5-minute click and drop gardening calendar. You get gardening masterclass video lessons. These are short, like 10-minute on average video lessons, just walking you through every step of growing your garden and caring for it, and extending your season, watering, harvesting, all that. You get instant access to our entire garden training library with over 160 teaching and demonstration videos. It includes our home gardening course that people actually have paid $300 to $400 for. That's when they paid for it. That home gardening course is $400 if you get online access and our flash drive with some bonuses. Health spotlights and gardening recipes that my wife does, monthly live meetings with question and answer time, access to past live recordings, because we've been doing this for quite a few years now. You get a bonus private Facebook group access, bonus garden sheet giveaways, these giveaways that we've been doing each evening, you get those as well, and bonus 14-day microgreens challenge, how to grow microgreens in just 14 days when you sign up. And so quick little review, when you sign up at the basic level, you get the gardening calendar masterclass lessons and these 2 bonuses, the garden cheat sheet giveaways and 14-day microgreens challenge. And at the basic level, it's just $10 a month, or it's almost a no-brainer you can get 6 months for $40 and save $20. With the elite, you get everything, and it's just $20 a month or $80 for 6 months. You save $40. So I see several of you are saying, can I upgrade from basic to elite in the future? Yes, absolutely, you can. Now, let me tell you, and I will go ahead and let me just put up the link for those of you that may want to jump over and sign up, because we're going to have a little special for those who sign up tonight as well. I do want to make note here that the elite level is limited space availability. So once it fills up, it's going to close down. So as long as it's available on the website there, you'll be able to sign up for it. But we have set a number, and once we hit that number, we'll close it down. You know, if it doesn't fill up, then it'll be open until we close down registration, which registration will close down in a few days here. But up until that time, you know, if there is space in the elite level, you'll be able to jump in, but it is limited space availability. That's because we get on live every month with our elite members, and we stay on and answer everyone's questions, right?
Yeah, we just don't want huge crowds in there.
Yeah, we want to be able to help you more personally. So we've actually even raised the price on it. So and we may, you know, raise the price on it next time as well. So now is the time to jump in if you want to get that kind of more personal access to us. And for those of you that would like to upgrade, email us and we can upgrade you to the elite level. So last night we were giving away a fast action bonus for the first 100 who signed up, right? And tonight we're going to do a second fast action bonus, all right? A second fast action bonus, and this is a bonus live group coaching session with my dad and myself. So whether you sign up at the basic level or the elite level, we're going to give you an extra live group coaching session with my dad and myself. In this session, you can post, you know, you can ask all of your questions. You can ask questions in the chat, but you'll also be able to call in and talk to us in real time. You can actually call in from your phone, and we can see each other and talk to each other, and we can answer questions that way. And we'll stay on and answer everyone's questions until there's no more questions during this time. So the way you get access to this fast action bonus number 2 is everyone who signs up during this live meeting is going to get access to the fast action bonus 2. And we're going to give this bonus to everyone who signed up yesterday all the way up through this live meeting. So if you signed up last night, you get it too. It's an extra bonus on top of, you didn't even know that you were going to get this bonus, but we are giving you this bonus as well. So, but for those of you who didn't sign up last night, this is your special opportunity to get an extra little bonus tonight, all right? We want you to have the experience of so many other members, to have abundant harvests, and we just can't wait to help your garden, take your garden to the next level. Quick reminder that it does come with a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee, and a 1 year if for some reason the training, you know, if you put the training to use and it hasn't improved your garden and you haven't seen improvement in your garden, then you will, you know, you can let us know after a year and we'll take care of you. But we are so confident that if you put the training to use and you use the calendar, it's going to make your garden easier and it's going to improve your garden. So we're willing to back it up with your money. And quick reminder that this is our cancellation policy is just from term to term. So you can cancel at any time that you want. You're not locked in. It's 100%. It is an automatic recurring membership, so it does automatically recur, but you can cancel anytime that you want, and you just shoot us a note and let us know. So we're here to take your garden to the skies. We want to see you grow these beautiful veggies like we talked about last night. What's it worth to you to be able to harvest veggies out in your backyard every day? What's it worth to you to have health and strength and to be able to do that?
Somebody's wondering if what we're offering now is this, you know, if they're already a member, is there any difference?
Yeah, if you're already a member with us, then you already have access to what we're talking about here right now.
Yes.
With the calendars, basically. And yeah, if you have a question on anything, just shoot us a note. If you're already one of our members, if you don't see a bonus that we're giving away here, let us know. We'll get you that. We take care of our members, right? This is one of my favorite comments from Ray here. He says, I absolutely love this tool. It's so simple. Even a novice like me can follow the instructions and have a successful garden. The videos are so informative and recommendations for plants are right on the money. I do not even see myself using another tool for my garden planning. And we want you to have that experience of Ray. So like I said, those who sign up tonight during this time, you get that extra fast action bonus. You can start by clicking the link on this page or go to borntogrow.net/join. So that's just a quick recap over the membership, and just a quick reminder for those, kind of a little view into where we're heading in the future. And you're gonna, when you become members with us now, you get locked in, and so you get perks going down the line. So there's no better time than now to jump in. All right, who's ready for our giveaways? Should we do our giveaways now?
Okay.
What do you say? Let's do our giveaways, and then we're going to open it up for question and answers, and we're going to be able to, we're going to try and answer as many questions as we can, okay? All right, so first giveaway is from last night. The first 100 people who signed up, we're going to pick the winner to win lifetime access to the gardening membership, okay? First 100 people who signed up, and let me pull up our random number generator. So we're going to make sure that this is legit, okay? Here we go. So you can see I have set the random number generator at 100. This is the first 100 people who signed up last night, and 3, 2, 1. The winner is number 3.
Wow.
Number 3. All right. So let me pull up the list of you all. And first 100 people, number 3. Hey, look at that. I'm already selected on it. Ann Hunting. Ann Hunting. Congratulations to Ann.
Wow.
Ann, you are the winner. Congratulations. Everyone give her a hand. Ann, you win lifetime access. We're going to jump in. We'll refund you whatever you signed up at, and we'll set you up with the elite membership. We're so excited for you. And you get lifetime access to all of our updates forever. So that is so cool. We're super, super excited. All right. The next giveaway. Next big giveaway, this one, every single person has opportunity to win access to this, okay? So it's not just the 100 from last night. You could be someone who signed up last night, but every single one of you are gonna have opportunity to win access to this. And because it includes all of the Facebook posts and comments, which can increase your chance of winning, we have quite a big number here. 10,149. All right. So let me take you back over to the random number generator here. 10,149. Let me just double check that, right? 10,149. Right, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and the winner is, boom! 9,664. All right, let's help me remember that number, 9,664. And we are going to pull up the list here. 9,600. 664. 9,664. And this is a Facebook post, 9,664. So we're going to look up that Facebook post and see who posted it. And you are going to be the winner. So let's look here. And the winner is Pamela Howell. Pamela Howell, you are the winner. Let me just make sure that that's correct. Yep. Pamela Howell is the winner of the lifetime access. Congratulations, Pamela. I don't know if you're on here tonight or not, but we just want to give you a quick congratulations for winning lifetime access to our elite membership. Congratulations. I'm going to leave that open so that we can make sure that you get access to that. Congratulations. So exciting, so exciting. All right. So we'll just pull up our slides here again. Those are our two big giveaways. Super excited for all of you and all the rest of you. Remember, you have opportunity still tonight to get our bonus, fast action bonus number 2, an extra bonus live coaching session when you sign up tonight, right? So everyone who signs up during this live meeting, as we come to the close of this live meeting, we'll let you know as we're coming to the close of it, so you can make sure to sign up. You have to sign up during the meeting.
Someone's asking, where do I sign up?
Okay, someone's asking, where do I sign up? Go to borntogro.net/join, as you can see on the page here. Otherwise, I will try and post it again for you in the chat so you can see here. Publish. So if you want to sign up and get that extra get that link for you. Here we go. Just post that link in the chat there. All right. All right. All right. I think that we are ready to open up for question and answers. What do you say, Dad?
Yeah.
All right. So we want.
Teresa's asking, what was the $75?
All right, so Teresa, there is an opportunity once you sign up to get our home gardening course. It's actually a flash drive. You get it on a flash drive, you can plug it into your computer, and you get our home gardening course. It has over 18 hours of garden training. Literally goes in depth into all the different topics in your garden, from keeping your garden weed free without spending hours on your knees picking weeds, starting your starts, transplanting them, how to transplant them successfully, looking at your soil, how to build a healthy soil, how to extend your season, how to trellis your plants. I mean, it just goes into almost every aspect of your garden in depth, and you can get it for 75% off when you sign up. So that's what you are getting when you signed up. All right.
And several people also are asking about how do they sign up to the Facebook group if they're elite.
Good question. How do you join the private Facebook group when you join the Elite Born to Grow program? So when you join as an elite member, we'll send you an email, and the email has a link to go sign up for the Facebook group. So you want to pay attention, look out for that email. We just had a whole bunch of people roll into the Facebook group last night, so look out for that email. If you don't see that email, make sure to check your spam folder, and if you don't see it there, definitely send us an email and we'll get you in. We'll do, I mean, we can get people in. So make sure to let us know and we'll get you in. Teresa says, does that come with the Elite? They're talking about the home gardening course, I believe. So as an elite member, you get access to the home gardening course online, but if you want a physical copy, you'll have opportunity to get a physical copy as well. And that's what the flash drive is. Yeah, awesome, Georgianne. Yes. Welcome to our gardening family. Flash drive on the way. On replay, will I still be eligible for sign-up bonuses? Helen, good question. So there are those 3 bonuses that we're giving with the membership right now, and you will be able to still get those bonuses if you sign up, like tomorrow or something like that. But our special fast action bonus for this evening, you will not get that unless you sign up tonight during this meeting. All right. Pam has a question here. I'm looking at row covers on Johnny's seeds. They have 9 ounce and 1.5 ounce. What do you, 0.9 ounce and 1.5 ounce. What do you suggest?
I think I'd go with the 0.9 ounce.
Yep. Yeah,
It's close to the 1 ounce.
Yeah, we generally, our general suggestion is 1 ounce. So
if you're in a very cold place, you might go with the 1.5, but you just recognize that it doesn't let as much light through either. So
yeah, exactly. So
Laurel, I think you're a member now, so you know what we're talking about. I don't know which level you're at, but you're already in one or the other.
Yep.
And
send us an email if you have any questions about it. We'll be happy to take care of you. All right. Ken says, in bed preparation, do you recommend heavy straw composting to further additional layer of insulation for late or winter gardening?
Yeah, you know, that's probably helpful. And particularly if you're growing root crops and you don't want them frozen in the ground, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Sherry has a good question. Is bok choy a fall crop?
Yes, it is.
Yes, absolutely, Sherry.
And it's pretty cold hardy, so you know it can survive into the upper teens with a bit of protection.
Yep. I'll get this one in just a second. Anne says, I have a 10 by 12 greenhouse, would like to plant my winter garden in there in containers. Is it better to plant it in the ground? I have pavers on the floor, hoping they would hold heat.
Pavers?
Like stone.
Yeah, right. You know, that I'm not really sure. Generally, we recommend people planting in the ground because you know, containers are more likely to freeze solid than if it's in the ground. I don't know how much your pavers are going to offset that tendency. So it's hard for me to know how to answer that. Maybe you could answer it yourself by putting some things in the ground and leaving some in containers and see how it works. What does better?
Yeah, excellent question. All right, someone was asking, what is bonus 1 and 3? So I'm just going to jump back up here. Don't get too dizzy here. All right, bonus 1 and 3. Bonus 1 is private Facebook group access. We have a private Facebook group for our members, so it's more intimate, and we get really good interaction in there. It's really a nice group, similar to our Winter Gardening Challenge. I mean, if you've been posting in there, I mean, you get comments on all of your posts. You get people sharing their ideas and stuff like that. So, but this is a little bit more personal. My dad and myself are in there, of course, and then bonus number 3 is our 14-day microgreens challenge. This is where we walk you through the process of growing your own microgreens. And microgreens are where your plants, you just grow a plant for 10 to 14 days. So it's like a very baby green stage. And then you cut it and you harvest it and you eat it. And microgreens have up to 40 times the nutrients of the adult plant. So they're very nutrient dense, and they're very easy to grow. And in that 14 day microgreens challenge, we actually have a bonus where we show you how to set up your whole system for growing microgreens on autopilot. So you can literally plant them and come back 10 to 14 days later and harvest them. I wonder if we should show them the video of how to do that.
Maybe we should stick to questions.
All right, let's stick to questions. Let's stick to questions. All right, Jackie says, farmer's friend has 1 ounce row cover. Yes. Stephanie says, what is the tool to help with weeds?
We have a number of tools we recommend, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, good question. there is we have several tools that we recommend. One is a collinear hoe. It's just a very thin hoe that is set at a nice angle where you can just stir the top of your ground. And the trick with weeds is that you want to get them before they get large. You want to get them right when they're just barely sprouting. So you can actually knock out like 70% of your weeds before you can even see them, because they start germinating and they spit out this little white thread. It's called the white thread stage of the plant, and it's at its most vulnerable period there. So if you just cultivate them, if you stir them around, disturb them, you can knock them out and kill those weeds off really before you can even see them, before they start coming up out of the ground. Yeah. So we use something called a collinear hoe. Also a stirrup hoe is really good as well. Those are kind of the two main hoes that we have used for weed cultivation. All right, another question. What kind of fertilizer do you use? Bob says. Okay,
that's a good question. We like to use compost. Compost generally does not have fertility in terms of NPK or other nutrients like that. The kind of fertility that compost brings to your soil is microorganisms and organic matter. So that's very important. But other than that, we like to recommend natural mined rock powders and sands and things like that will break down slowly in your soil. Some favorites of ours are azomite and green sand. And then we also like to recommend ground up plant-based things like alfalfa meal is a good source of nitrogen, and kelp meal is a really good fertilizer. It has lots of micronutrients and is fairly high in potassium. So those are a number of different kinds of fertilizers we recommend.
Yeah, excellent question. Really good question. Nancy says, will the calendar app that's being updated have an estimate of the area needed per plant? Area needed per plant. Good question, Nancy. You know, what we already have in there is we have plant spacing, right? So
we have a recommendation for plant spacing for each crop.
For each crop. So that's something that we already have included. Now, if you're talking about recommended space needed to plant 10 crops or something like that, like a little calculator, that's something that we could consider.
We are, actually.
Yeah, you've been talking about this for a while.
Yes. What we want to do is, based on our recommendations, if you say that you want to grow a certain plant, you could also say how many you wanted to have, and we'd like to have it set up so that you could have your garden drawn out and you could fill up space in your garden with the amount that you want.
Yep.
Yeah. Or you could put in that you have this much space for this crop, and then the app would tell you you can put X number of plants in that space.
Yeah. Yeah. Brenda says, is this $10 for 6 months to join? And great question, Brenda. So let me just go over that real quick with you all again. So just for you, Brenda, and anyone else who's wondering about the pricing here. So it's $10 a month at the basic level. So it'd be $10 every month. It's like a monthly subscription. Or for 40 bucks, you can get 6 months access and save $20. So you get a significant discount if you sign up for 6 months. So it's 40 bucks for 6 months. And then same with the Elite. It's $20 a month subscription or $80 for every 6 months subscription. So again, you save a bunch if you sign up for the 6 months. So just wanted to clarify that for you there, Brenda. Very good question. All right.
And for, Helen's asking, she said she's a member already and she wants to know if she'll have access to the new calendar.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a member, whether you signed up now or you're a member from the past, when this new app comes out, you'll have access to it.
You'll automatically be rolled into it.
Exactly.
Yep. Now, we may even, with all of our past members and current members, we may take in a little like alpha beta group into the new membership, and you would be the first ones to have opportunity to get first time access ever. Like as members, you'll get access to it before anyone else probably anyways, but
in other words, some of you might choose to get in before it's really, before we've released it.
Yes, yeah.
We would give you that option.
Yeah, so we'd be excited to have you. Okay, Susan says, the soil block makers are very expensive. How can I make my own? Very good question, Susan. There are small soil block makers that you can get. And
yeah, there are handheld ones. I'm assuming what you were looking at were the large blockers. No.
That's the tray. Let me find the actual blocker. Here we go. Out of stock. All right, but we can show you here. All right, so here is a handheld blocker. And so this is an example of a soil blocker that's a handheld blocker. And it doesn't do as many soil blocks at one time, but frankly, for a home garden, you don't need anything more than this. You can make these blocks pretty quickly. And this one is for 35 bucks. So, you know, it's not as expensive as those larger ones. The larger ones, I think, can be over 100 bucks sometimes. So, very good question there. Sylvia says, clicking on the link on the page and won't let me in. Great question, Sylvia. Shoot us an email if you're having trouble there. We'll honor it. We'll honor that you are trying to sign up during the time here, and we'll make sure that you're able to get in. Carla says, I have 3 by 6 foot raised beds. What size and length of electrical conduit can I use to make the quick tunnels for them? Very good question. So actually, if it's a 3 by 6 foot raised bed, the tunnels that we suggest, which is a 10-foot PVC conduit pipe, will span 6 feet. So you could
do them the long way.
You could do them the long way on your bed.
Probably just 2 of them.
Yeah, you can just do 2 the long way on your bed and cover it with a row cover. That would be one simple way to do it. Otherwise, if you're trying to span 3 feet, it'll be a little bit more difficult because, you know, the pipes are a little bit.
They'll have to bend really tight.
Yeah, they'll have to be bending pretty tightly. I wouldn't do like 5 feet. I wouldn't just cut it in half. I would probably try and do 6 feet so that you go up a little bit. I don't know. I think it'd be easier to bend.
You might just need to get one piece of conduit and cut a bit off and see how that works. If that's still too long, cut a bit more.
Yeah.
I really don't know how to tell you that.
The easy way, though, would be to do them lengthwise. 10 foot spanning the 6 foot length.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Teresa says, can I harvest collards if they are just coming up? From Louisville, Kentucky. So we would encourage you to let your collards grow.
I'll let them grow a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know you're eager.
Good question. Good question. Yeah, I would let them grow a little bit more to maturity before you actually started harvesting them.
I just like to say I have a fondness for collards. I feel like they're kind of the ignored underdog superstar in greens. They're actually more nutritious than greens, than kale. Sorry, but somehow kale got all the attention. And growing in the garden, I've found that collards seem to grow more in that Persephone period when you know we're under 10 hours And kale doesn't grow as much. Collards seems to grow a little bit more during that really cold, short day time. So I like collards.
Yeah. All right. Robin says, if I use plastic, what type thickness should I get for the hoop?
Okay. Just get regular, it's called 6 mil greenhouse plastic. The issue is that that doesn't usually sell in small quantities. You may have to buy a large quantity. I think that, Jonathan, I know sells plastic, but I think he only sells it for his tunnels.
For larger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You have to look. If you just do a search for 6 mil greenhouse plastic, and
I mean, frankly, we would encourage you to use like a row cover in most cases, but there would be some cases, maybe especially if you have a higher, maybe snow or something that you may want.
If you're real cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Good question. All right. Rekka says, I purchased the $15 CD set for growing organically yesterday. How different is that to the gardening course you just talked about that the elite membership includes, the one that comes up on a zip drive? Does it still cover the same topics? Very good question. I'm guessing the one that you purchased there was probably called our 7 Secrets of Organic Gardening. And that one is a pretty basic, you know, it's like a 1.5 to 2 hour seminar, and you can only fit so much in that time, right? So it goes over some basics about dealing with weeds, transplanting versus direct seeding. What else is talked about in there? Some very basics on pest control, very basics on, but like I said, it's 1.5 to 2 hours. The home gardening course that I was just mentioning that comes with the elite membership and that you can also get on a flash drive is over 18 hours of training. So there's a big difference just right there. And then I would say that it goes over, I mean, it covers the same information as is in the 7 Secrets, right? But it has a lot more information than that. So it goes a lot more into depth about your soil. It talks about the life in the soil. It talks about how your soil texture. There's little simple tests that you can do at home to understand what kind of soil texture that you have already. It talks about, walks you through doing a soil test. It talks about cover crops. It talks about how to, I mean, there's a lot. It covers a lot. In fact, I could even,
the gardening course is pretty complete.
Yeah, it's pretty in-depth. Like I said, over 18 hours of training, just going through every aspect of your garden: watering, weeding, trellising, harvesting, storing storage crops, and extending your season into the winter too. Starting starts, transplanting them, you know, just walking through each stage of your garden. All right, good question. All right, Rondi says, in preparing my garden space, what is the best way to get rid of weeds?
You know, of course, you can hoe them, and we've got a number of different tools that we recommend for different situations there. But another really good thing, if you have time, is to use a tarp. You can get a silage tarp that will not allow any light through to your ground, and just cover your ground with that. And you'll generally need to have it covered about at least 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. And whatever is in your ground trying to grow there will die. And that's a great way to get rid of your weeds, and then you can go ahead and plant. Yeah, a short answer.
Good question. All right, someone was asking, what is the link to Farmer's Friend? So I'm going to put it in the chat here. Farmer's Friend. This is our affiliate link, actually, to Farmer's Friend. So you can jump over there, and it's a little win-win-win for you, win for us, win for Farmer's Friend. All right, so just posted that in the chat there. Someone is asking, if I sign up for Elite, how long do I have access to the calendar? So it depends on what you sign up for. So it's $20 a month or $80 for 6 months, and those are your span times that you have access. Now it's a recurring, it's an automatic recurring membership. So it'll be $20 for this month, and then next month it'll automatically recur $20 for access for next month, right? And same with the $80 for 6 months. And so now you can cancel at any time, so it's very flexible. But that's the, hopefully that helps answer that question of what is the length of time that you have access to the calendar.
William was asking about, we lost the question here, but he was asking about growing artichokes. Artichokes are a cool season or a cool climate crop. They really like temperatures in the 50s. But we thought we could we grow them in Middle Tennessee, and we tried for a number of years and had very poor results. We thought with our protections and all we could get them through, but it just has not worked well for us, so we finally gave up. We were able to get a few, but it was a small percentage of what we had put in the ground, and we just decided it wasn't worth it. I don't know where you are. You could try.
All right. Pat says, what are the chances of having an integrative map plan in the program that one can create for our own garden? Very good question, Pat. And that is something that we have down on our future features bucket list.
Yeah.
And
it's probably not going to be in the first version of the app that comes out. We're probably going to just kind of upgrade the current version, but I would hope it might be on the next one.
Yeah.
After that.
And just imagine this. Imagine this. If you could have your layout of your garden and have a slide bar that is connected with the planting schedules that you've dropped into the calendar, and you could just slide your bar across the year and say, okay, in July, you just slide it over to the month of July, and your visual plan of your calendar will automatically show you what is growing and what spaces are occupied at that time of the year. And as you slide it, crops will drop out and spaces will become available, and you can see what is growing when in your garden. Just imagine something like that. That's what we are looking forward to in the future. It's going to take a little bit of engineering marveling to try and get that all sorted out and synced together, but we want to tie your planting schedules with a visual plan.
Yeah.
If we can do that, it's going to make it so much easier.
Make it a super duper app.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Jennifer says, will members who have an older version of the calendar also get the upgrade when it's released? Absolutely, Jennifer. If you're a current member with us, you get the upgrade too. We don't leave anyone behind.
Everyone gets the upgrade.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you, Martha. Thanks so much for jumping on with us. All right. All right. Do you recommend covering raised boxes with straw during the winter after the winter garden? Yeah, it's good to keep a mulch on the ground. It's good to keep the ground covered somehow. It's best to have living plants on the ground covered with like a cover crop. But the next best thing is a mulch, like straw or something like that. Yeah. All right, Rondi says, where do you find the features in the calendar about spacing? So let me just pull up the calendar and we'll look at it together. So we can show you where to find that, all right? So here we go. Just going to pull up the calendar.
It's going to be in your seeding or transplanting. If you're direct seeding, it's going to be in the seeding.
Yeah, seeding task. Because that's when you would be deciding when you would space it, right? So for carrots here with direct seeding, you'd click on it and it will pop up, and then it will tell you, what spacing to do. So plant seeds 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep, 6 rows in the bed that are 4 inches apart. You can do this by hand, and then it goes on and tells you, what to space them. If you are going to plant something like, let's put in broccoli here. So let's put in the later planting of broccoli. And you click on the transplanting broccoli, and then it's got crop recommendations, transplant spacing for a 30-inch wide bed. And you can just use this same spacing for however wide your bed is. You just multiply it out, right?
Yeah.
So transplants starts 2 rows that are 14 inches apart. So, if you wanted to add another row, you just add it another 14 inches apart from that, right? And then you plant the plants every 18 inches in the row, and you want to stagger them down. For a larger width bed, just add another row every 14 inches. So we have those spacings right there under the seeding or the transplanting tasks in the calendar. All right, good question. Arlene says, where can I find the information on how to get rid of insects naturally that are eating my kale and arugula? Good question, Arlene. Are you a member with us currently? If you're currently a member with us, we can point you directly to training inside the members area, specifically talking about how to deal with pests in the garden. That would be the easiest.
I'm guessing it might be worms eating your greens, and you can spray dipel on them. That's a bacteria that stops digestion in their stomach as they eat it. So they'll all die within a day after you spray that on them.
Yeah. Flora says, is there a discount for Born to Grow members when we purchase from your cousin's company? Very good question, Flora. We do not have a discount code at this time. I could reach out to my cousin and see if he would do it. Yeah, he does not usually do discount codes, like, period. So he doesn't usually do discount codes for, like, anyone. So I don't know if I'll be able to actually pull that off for you or not, but it's a good question. And I mean, I could reach out to him and see. Andra says, can you explain how to calculate how much plants I need to plant to feed a family for the year?
That is a good question. Every family is different, so we can't make an overall recommendation. We found it very interesting when we were doing our CSA. We had full share boxes and half share boxes that we were selling, and we had a single male, a young single male, who was buying a full share box, and he finished that. He polished it off by himself every 2 weeks. And we had families, like 2 families, who were sharing a half share box. So, it's just every family is so different. But basically what you would need to do is, for example, with broccoli, just figure out how many heads of broccoli you're going to eat in a week. How many heads of broccoli would you like in a week? How many pounds of carrots would you like in a week? Just go through all of your different things that you'd like to grow and figure out how much you think you would like in a week, and then calculate your succession plantings according to that, and just have to do it like that. And then, over time, keep records of how you chose, how you set those numbers up, and then over time you can see, was I really getting too much or was I not getting enough, and you can adjust. And
yeah. Something really neat with the going along with that, with the calendar here, is I'll just pull it up real quick and show you. You know, if you put in a whole bunch of different crops that you want to grow, so I'm just going to drop in a whole bunch of them here just for this example, is this can help when it comes to trying to figure out, you know, what you how much produce that you want to be harvesting for your family, right?
Yeah.
So you can come down and you can filter and only look at the harvesting times, okay? Just filter everything else out, and then you can be asking yourself, well, how much kale do I want per week during this harvesting time? How much colors do I want per week during this harvesting time? You know, when I come down, everything that I just put in here is like all fall crops, so that's why it's all, you know, it's more bunched up in the fall right here. So in October, you're going to be harvesting a whole bunch of different things, right? So anyways, it's really neat that you can just kind of look ahead and you can actually kind of plan how much you're going to grow and stuff like that based on the harvest time windows for that crop and how much that you want to be feeding your family during that time.
And if, you know, some of those crops you can store. And so if you might want to take that into account when you're deciding how much to plant as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like potatoes, right? As a storage,
right.
You can store those.
Yeah.
Judy says, how many beds will the calendar allow? I will have at least 50 areas. Good question, Judy. So right now, I should clarify this, we do not currently have that visual plan set up with the calendar, you know, linked with. Now we have a training showing you how you can use a visual plan and connect it with the calendar and put in the plantings and easily create a succession planting rotation in your garden. We have a training that goes through that in depth. And so you can watch that and see how to use the calendar to do that. So you could use the calendar with all of your 50 areas, because right now the calendar is basically mainly just set to deciding what you're going to grow and when you're going to grow it. And then, you know, after you've grown it, you can split it out into however many different areas that you want to grow it, right? In. Patricia said, is silage tarp like a weed cloth?
Yeah, that's a good question. They're two different things for two different purposes, but both are to suppress weeds. But the purpose of a silage tarp is to cover the earth and kill those weeds that are currently growing or trying to grow. You know, because ideally, before you put the silage tarp down, you'll wet the ground well or put it down after a rain so that there's a lot of moisture and the plants, the seeds are wanting to germinate and grow. You want to encourage whatever's in the ground to grow, to try to grow when under that tarp. And so as it tries to grow, it'll die because there's no light. But the weed cloth is a woven cloth that you put down on your beds or in your aisles to prevent weeds from growing. You know, it's to prevent weeds from growing while you're growing your garden. The silage tarp, I wouldn't recommend trying to grow a garden in it. The weed cloth will, it takes a lot more wear and tear than the silage tarp, but it may allow light to go through, so it's not going to perform the same purpose as the silage tarp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
We've used both. We use both in our garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Luba has a question here. It says, I live in Arkansas. I have to garden in raised beds because of the rocky soil. Do I need to replace the soil yearly, or adding compost and rock powders be enough?
Oh, you don't need to replace it. Just keep adding compost and rock powders.
Yep, absolutely. What are your thoughts on diatomaceous earth for insect control, says Pam?
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
We like it. Although we have found that it doesn't work so well for us. And we were talking about this on, I think, in the Facebook group. or maybe one of our webinars, and somebody said that in highly humid places, it's not as effective. And I think that's the issue for us, because the high humidity makes it kind of clump, even in very small powdery clumps, but it's still not the very fine, loose material that would be dangerous to the insects.
Yeah.
So, but I highly recommend it, and it can also supply silica for your plants. That's a nutrient that the plants need. It's good for your health. People feed it, put it in the feed for their animals, and it helps to clean out parasites. You can do that for yourself if you think you have parasites. It's supposed to be good for your hair and your skin. So
yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, good. Sherry says, are seed spacing recommendations based on intensive planting to shade out weeds or standard spacing? Good question.
That is a good question. And yeah, we try to make it to intensive.
Yeah, we do intensive
we're not
spacing.
Using standard spacing.
Yep.
Standard spacing, by the way, is set for the farmer who's tractor cultivating.
Yep.
And that's it's set for single rows and room to let the tractor run through there. So in your garden you don't need that.
Yeah.
So we use a more intense spacing.
Karen says, how long should it take to receive an email after signing up? Good question, Karen. You should get an email pretty much immediately, like within the next 5 minutes after signing up. It's an automatic email that comes with your login information. If you did not receive that, make sure to check your spam folder. If you still don't see it, make sure to send us an email. You can send me an email at paul@borntogrow.net. Really, you can reply to any email that you've ever received from us, and let us know, and we'll make sure and get you in. It's an automatic email, so you should get an email right after signing up. Yeah. Now, when you set up your calendar, you're going to send us your zip code or location, and then we set up your calendar. And with the current setup of the way the calendars are set up, we actually have to set those up manually. So we get those. We usually are able to get that calendar back to you within 24 hours. So there is just a little bit of a wait there for that calendar to get back to you, your own personal one. When we build our new app out from the ground up, that will be an immediate thing as well. There will be no wait to get your calendar. But that's the way that it is right now. And yeah, that's all right. Esther, any tips on how to best keep winter crops growing healthy in Northern California when the winter season can be really wet?
Well, if you can afford it, your best bet is going to be a hoop house or a caterpillar tunnel. Yeah. If you can't afford that, then you can try the quick hoops that we described yesterday, and get some plastic, put some plastic over them. One thing you might want to do is, the issue that I've had with plastic over my quick hoops is that as soon as the sun comes out, it's overheating in there, and a lot of condensation on the plastic. So you have to be putting the plastic on and off. In Northern California, if you're in a place where I know in the Northwest along the coast, a lot of times there's hardly any sunshine in the winter. And so if you're in a situation like that, probably, it would work to have plastic over a hoop. You wouldn't be taking it on and off very much. If you're in the Northeast, not very many people are there, but I have known people who live there, and they get more sunshine, so it'd be different.
Great question.
Yeah.
All right, Luis says, how do elite members contact you to discuss our gardens? Very good question, Luis. So there's a couple ways here. Number one is we have our monthly live meetings like this, and that's where you come on like you are right now, except it's a smaller group, and we stay on and answer everyone's questions during that time. And actually, you could even during those times jump on and talk to us live. We need to be doing that more. We've offered that, and some people aren't as comfortable jumping on and actually talking face-to-face live, but we want to offer that opportunity, and you can. Yep. The other thing is that all throughout the month, you have the Facebook group, and my dad and I are in and out of there as well, so that's the way to contact us. We cannot, at this time, promise email answers. We get a lot of emails, and so we can't promise email support at this time. Once again, you have the Facebook group, so you got the support there, and we are in and out of there as well, so you can get support there, not only from us, but from other members.
There's a lot of people on there, and they're active.
And they're really helpful.
Yeah, they have a lot of good ideas.
Yep. And but then you're also guaranteed that once a month time that you can jump on with us. And you can send us an email. We just can't promise that we will be able to answer them every single time. All right, good question. Mary says, do we leave the row covers on during the short and cold months?
Yeah, for us here in Middle Tennessee, it works very well to just put the row cover on maybe in October, November, and leave it on right through the winter. A single row cover. You don't want to leave 2 or more row covers on, just a single one. The second cover or the third one only go on in those really cold events, and then they come off again as soon as the sun shines.
Yep. All right, Susan says, why do you transplant some things when you could just direct seed them?
It's a very good question. We talked a little bit about it the first day.
Yeah.
So the main thing is that a transplant is bigger than the weeds in the ground. It's been growing in a protected space, and it's just a little it's a bit stronger. And so when you put a transplant in, it's most likely going to survive and give you something. When you direct seed, there's a certain percentage of those seeds that don't come through, and so you have an uneven stand, and there's not really a good way to make up for that, the space lost in that. And at the same time, as your plants are sprouting from direct seeding, they're in direct competition with the weeds. The weeds are all sprouting at the same time. And somehow it seems that the weeds are often more vigorous than the plants that you're trying to grow. And your plants can just get buried if you're not on top of things. So it's a little more intense, growing directly from seed.
Yeah. Great question. All right. Flora says they need the calendar corrected. Yeah, send us an email and we'll get that corrected for you as soon as possible. All right. Kay says, how to treat white mold in your garden? White mold.
I'm not sure what that is.
It might be like a powdery mildew or something.
Powdery mildew or downy mildew. And there's several biofungicides that you can use for that. If it's a mold growing in mulch or in the soil, that's probably good. I would try to encourage that. Don't try to discourage that. Fungi in the soil are really important, but you don't want the fungi on the leaves. I mean, there are actually good fungi on your leaves, but powdery mildew, downy mildew, blight, those are all types of fungus that you don't want. And there are biofungicides like actinovate is good. Neem oil is also has fungicidal effects. So those are two off the top things that I would recommend. But there are a number of other biofungicides. A biofungicide is generally one or two or more species of bacteria that eat the fungus.
Yeah. Ken says, in later fall, have you used warmed water for watering?
You know, we have not done that, but that's a great idea. If you have a way to warm your water and do that, yeah, that would be helpful, I'm sure.
Debbie says, how do we change our passwords? In the members area, if you go to the My Profile page, you can change your password for the members area right there. Yep. Right now, we do not have the opportunity to change the password for the calendar, so you will have to just remember that, but you'll find that that should be pretty easy the way that we set it up for you. Just take a look at that. But in the main members area, you can change your password under the My Profile page. Lost my calendar, how can I get it back? Good question, Linda. Send us an email and we'll get it back for you. Jeannie says, can we print the calendar in color? And I saw someone else was saying, can we print the calendar? Yes, you can print the calendar, and yeah, you can print it in color as well. So let me just show you how that works. So I've got this calendar here. I'm going to, all right, here we go. And I'm just going to jump a couple weeks ahead here. Let's go to September 4 here. All right. So if I go to the list view, like you can come up here and you could print out your whole calendar like this. And some people may want to do that. I just find that that's kind of a little over. I mean, it's good. It's just busy. You know, you've got so much going on. So I personally would rather print a list view. So in the list view, it has all of the different tasks that you should do each week, right? So what I would do then is come up to the top right here and you click this and you say print and export right here, and it will come up. And the default, by the way, is it shows a little sidebar over on the side here. And so when you do this, it'll probably show this little sidebar here. And I just feel like that's, I mean, yeah, I don't like it. So I turn it off and click refresh. And then it just has that checklist there for that week. And you can literally come in and you can print this off. You can print it off in color. You can print it off, you know, black and white if you wanted to. And then you just check them off as you get them done. So that's what I would do. All right. You have talked about stale seed beds and cultivating beds before the weeds actually grow. Do you do both, or can we simply cultivate?
Actually, the stale seed bed, once you've sprouted those weeds, that's when you go through and you cultivate them. So it's just a refinement of the whole idea of cultivating the weeds very young.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's no, I mean, they both are, we're talking about the same thing basically.
Aqua here says, I couldn't go beyond potatoes in the calendar, could not add rutabagas or turnips. Shoot us an email if you're having issues with adding like turnips or with issues with adding any of the crops, because it should be pretty simple to add them in. We don't currently have rutabagas installed in the calendar, so you would want to just look at the days to maturity of those and match them up with a similar crop. Like you may be planting those at a similar time to the turnips or something like that.
No, they would be different.
Well, they would be different days to maturity for sure.
Yeah, rutabagas need to go in. Now I'm trying to think of what we might be comparable to.
But you could look those up.
What you do is just find something that has a similar days to maturity on the calendar, and you can use that.
So rutabagas are 60 to 90 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really that long.
Yeah. So you'd want to go in and look at the calendar and look at what are the days to maturity of the other crops and match it up with one that would match.
It might be a cabbage or
a short day cabbage would be around 65.
60, yeah, but a longer day is going to be
90 or something like that. Yep. All right. Sid says, how long is your seeds good for?
You know, that's a hard question to answer. It depends on the conditions in which they were kept. It also depends on how good they were to start with. And it depends on the variety. In other words, some seeds from some kinds of plants are more durable than seeds from other types of plants. So there are some weed seeds that, like I've heard of lamb's quarter seeds that were in the ground for 40 years and sprouted. I don't know how they knew they were in the ground for 40 years, but you know, anyways, that's kind of the downside on weed seeds, I guess.
Yeah.
They're very vigorous. But yeah, the secret to keeping seeds longer is to keep them in a cool, dry, dark place. You know, they need to be absent of humidity and keep them on the cool side. You can keep them in the refrigerator, but it's not necessary to. If you have some place that, you know, where they can stay around 50 degrees, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll do well.
Judy says, I think this will be so much more productive as I succession plant. Right now I have excess of each crop and then on to the next crop, not a consistent harvest over time, which will be much more useful. Absolutely, Judy. You know, being able to have that consistent harvest is a real key to be able to have a nice, consistent flow of veggies instead of having a glut all at one time.
Right.
Yeah, you're on the right track. Jennifer says, when should I pull potatoes? When they have some leaves dying and producing new leaves at the same time?
Yeah, as soon as you start to have leaves dying, that's generally a sign that the potatoes are almost done.
It's either that or you've got a disease problem.
Right.
Yep.
So either way, it's a good thing to dig them up. You don't want generally to let the whole plant die if you've got a disease problem.
Yes. Billy says, what about plantings of varieties that are shorter maturing or longer maturing? Any adjustments allowed in the upcoming updated calendar? Yes, absolutely. So in the upcoming calendar, you're going to be able to put in, there's going to be a standard, just average days to maturity already in there, but then
like we already have.
Yeah, like we already have. But then you can adjust that yourself per crop planting schedule, right? Yeah. So, and you'll be able to put in the variety and the days to maturity, so you can easily see which one is which.
Yeah.
I should show you actually. I was going to pull this up earlier, but we have a whole list here. This is just a kind of a sneak peek preview in the background of what we're doing. Just a document going through each little section of the new app that we're putting together, and you know, how the crop planting schedules are going to work. You can see our little notes in here of things that we're going to change, make it simpler. We're just working on this to make it as simple and as easy for you as possible. So that's just a very short little preview on the back end of the process of going through this. So we're deep into working on this. How do you determine how much food to feed containers? I'm guessing you're talking about like nutrients. So Christy, one of the nutrient mixes that I have used successfully in containers is called Down to Earth Vegan Mix. And on there, it has a recommendation of how much to use in your container per like gallon of mix that you are using in the container. And I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but it has that recommendation and it tells you how often to add it to a container. So that's something that I would look at. Oh, Luis has a good question. What are the temperatures for low, medium, and high freezes?
Okay. So, you know, this is all pretty subjective, but I would say roughly, you know, the low freeze tolerant crops are going to be fine down to the mid-20s. And the medium freeze tolerant are going to be fine into the upper teens. And the hard freeze tolerant ones are going to be fine even below 15 degrees. That's kind of a very rough ballpark figure. But as we said, I'm speaking about these being unprotected at those temperatures. But if you cover them with 1 or 2 row covers, they can take much more than that. You can go down into the, you know, into the single digits or below with several covers on top of these things. As Paul said the other day, we had lettuce down to 5 degrees, and we had 3 covers over it, and most of it survived. We did lose some, but you know, we got most of it. Most of it was still fine.
Yeah.
But what we lost was on the edges. They were in quick roots, and so what was on the edge, right on the edge of the quick root, we lost.
Elizabeth says, what, if anything, does clay soil need to amend it? So problems with clay soil is that can be very compacted because clay particles are so small, you actually have to see them with an electron microscope to see an individual clay particle. So you don't get enough air, you don't get enough, well, you can have water runoff, or you can be like really over waterlogged. There's not enough air in there. So one of the best things to loosen it up is to add organic matter into it. So you could use compost, you can use peat moss, which is a very good opening organic matter to help open up that soil.
Some people talk about adding clay, sand. You know, I would consider that an optional thing if you want to go the second mile. But the main thing would be, as Paul said, add organic matter.
Yep. Jennifer says, how do I treat the bed after having squash that had mold on them? What do I do? Can I plant more squash there for the fall planting of them?
I think it would be better to rotate your squash. The other thing is, squash is not a, you know, we have winter squash, but it's not a winter crop. It's a summer crop that you can store in the winter. So yeah, I don't know what kind of squash you're planning to plant, but it's not going to survive once it starts to freeze.
Yep.
You know, you may be someplace where you still have time to plant it.
Yep. Karen says, is pulverizing eggshells with vinegar a good remedy for blossom end rot? Good question, Karen. I'm going to just go post in the chat here what I encouraged a friend to do for blossom end rot, and that was I encouraged them to use to boost their plant's immune system with some of the down-to-earth vegan mix, and then to add some oyster shell flour. That is a good calcium source, and that solved their problem with blossom end rot.
But pulverized eggshells would be a calcium.
It would be a calcium source as well, so that you could use that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you just want to crush them as small as possible. You know, you may want to even put them in a blender or something to get that available to your plants faster. You know, the less crushed they are, the slower that calcium will be available, I believe.
Now, in some of the reading I've done on blossom end rot, it's not really conclusive what actually is the cause of it. It seems that calcium deficiency is somehow related to it, but it also seems like that's not necessarily the main thing or the only thing. There might be other issues, and we don't know exactly what they are.
Laurel has a question here. Says, we just had our deck done, and there are some blueberry plants next to the deck. The people doing the deck said that one of the solutions was acetic acid or something like that acid. Anyway, they sprayed the deck, and some of the acid got on the leaves of the blueberry plants and a couple of beans and made black spots on the blueberry leaves and brown spots on the bean leaves. We rinsed the plants off with water after they sprayed, but the spots remained. Some nearby tomato plants wilted and developed yellow spots on the leaves. And our grape plants got some big black spots too. The lawn died in a big 8 by 4 foot black dry patch. Uh-oh. Wilted grass seemed to attract dozens of more flies than normal. Even tough weeds wilted and died, developed yellow black spots. Kind of like there was a drought or something. Do you have any advice?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Laurel. It's really awesome to see you on here, by the way.
I think the best thing you can do is just try to encourage some more biology in the soil there. You could try spreading compost on the lawn, and then maybe reseeding it. For the plants that just got spots on their leaves, I wouldn't worry too much about them. I think they'll recover. But the things that were kind of concerned about the lawn,
Yeah. Yeah. Good question. All right. All right. We'll take a few more questions here. Actually, yeah, let's see. Billy says, does diatomaceous earth hurt bees and beneficials?
Yeah, it probably would. But like bees are, if it's in the place where the beneficials go, then it might damage them. So bees are going in and out of flowers. So if you just make sure you keep it off of flowers, I think that would be fine. And I don't know the other beneficials where they would be getting into it. But,
all right. Good questions. Man, we got so many questions. Exciting. So real quick recap for those of you who were on or who just joined recently, and reminder for the others is we're doing a special this evening. Anyone who signs up tonight during this live meeting, we've got a special fast action bonus number 2. We had a fast action bonus last night. This is our second fast action bonus to get an extra live group coaching session with my dad and myself. And in that session, you'll be able to actually call in basically and talk over your garden with us, or you can ask questions in the chat like we're doing here, and we'll stay on and answer everyone's questions. So to be eligible to get this, you have to sign up during this live meeting. And I think that we will go for about, what do you say, Dad, maybe 10 more minutes?
Yeah.
Why don't I actually set up a timer here. So I'm going to set up a timer here for 10 minutes. And all right. So I'm going to set up a timer here for 10 minutes, and then we will we'll take some more questions during this time. And those who sign up within the next 10 minutes, then you will be entered to win our second fast action bonus. Exciting. So let me just see how to set this up here so that So I'm just gonna jump off here. I'm just gonna set it up here so you can see this timer. All right. All right. Dad, do you want to grab another question
Allison's
here?
asking, what are your thoughts on no-till gardening?
Good question.
Yeah, we think there's a lot to it, and we are trying it ourselves. We have several no-till beds in our hoop house that we just started this last winter. We grew cover crops on them, and then we've been growing no-till in them this summer. We want to continue and to expand our no-till experience. It makes a lot of sense to us. Our training right now that we have is not no-till. It's minimum till, but it's not no-till. We're, as we gain more experience in no-till, we're going to start adding more training on that.
All right, excellent question there. What other questions do we have? If you build a caterpillar tunnel, do you keep it covered all year?
Not necessarily. That's one nice thing about caterpillar tunnels. You can actually you can take the plastic off fairly easily, or you can just scoot it up so that it's your sides are open. If you're in a warm and sunny place, I would highly recommend that you consider getting a shade cloth for it. And you can actually take the plastic off and just put the shade cloth over it in the summer if you like that. And if you'd like it to be cooler and breezier in there. If you're wanting to, there are certain crops that it seems are better kept dry, like tomatoes and the melon family. So you might want to keep your plastic on there and just keep the sides up.
All right, someone's asking, how long will the 3-day Facebook group stay up? Very good question. So the 3-day Facebook group is going to be up, and we will be active in it through Sunday, okay? Through Sunday. And Sunday registration is going to close actually completely for the calendar, so you want to definitely jump in before Sunday. Otherwise, of course, if you sign up during this, before the countdown timer hits 0, you get our extra fast action bonus there, extra live meeting together. But the Facebook group and everything is going to be up through Sunday. Lots of questions.
Morelli is asking why didn't we answer her questions. I'm sorry, I don't see them. I just scrolled down and I don't see it. Pop it in again, quick.
Yeah, put it in. Marilia,
yeah.
Put your question in again, and we'll try and get it. We'll stay here right up at the top of the chat to try and get you. All right. Allison says, so the only direction I could put my hoop house runs east to west. Our winds blow north to south. Is this going to hamper my growing?
No. You can orient your hoop house either way. We prefer orienting the hoop house north and south, but there are often other things that prevent you from doing that. That's fine.
So you have to be more careful with plants shading each other out if you do it east to west, because of the angle of the sun.
Yeah. The one issue you might have if you have really strong winds, it sounds like you're broadside to the winds, and your hoop house might get beat up a little more that way.
Hi, Susan. Good question about the Facebook group. We haven't actually made an official decision on what's going to happen with this Facebook group. So we may leave the Facebook group intact, just my dad and myself may not be as active in it because we're not, we've got to prioritize those members who have paid. So you may be able to still chat with each other in the group and stuff like that. We haven't made an official decision on what we're going to do with the group. So just hang tight, and we'll figure out what's going to happen with the group. We definitely want it to be a blessing to you as long as possible. Of course, this challenge itself has to come to an end at some point, right? But I don't know. We may allow people to still be able to connect with each other. We'll see what happens.
Xanthia is asking, what's the difference between a hoop house and a greenhouse? It's very simple. The structure is, there's no difference in structures. It's just that a greenhouse has a heat source in it, and a hoop house does not. A hoop house is just simpler. It's a low-tech thing.
Yep.
Okay, and here's Morelia.
Leapfrog planting. Does number 2 set go in space of number 1? What if you plant number 3 and number 1? Good question, Marilia. So when it comes to leapfrog planting, you want to look at when is that crop going to be harvested, right? So you're talking about the number of plantings, right? So number 1, with crop planting number 1, you want to look at when is it going to be harvested. A leapfrog planting is going to be planted into that same garden space when the first one is being harvested, right? So you harvest one out, and then you're going to put another crop in. So it could be that that crop that you put in is number 3 in the calendar. It might not be number 2 because of the way that the succession plantings are set up. Right. We explain this.
It most likely will not be number 2.
Yeah. We explain this in detail if you go to the calendar training videos. At the bottom, there's a training video on how to plan succession planting in your garden using the calendar. And we break it down and try and make it as simple as possible. And actually, it is a pretty simple process if you do it the way that we teach you how to do it there. So that would be very helpful. Go to the calendar training videos inside the membership area there. All right. All right. How deep should dirt be for root crops if using boxes or pots?
I would say 1.5 feet at a minimum. I'd rather have 2 feet.
Yep. All right. I have many tomato plants in my 10-foot garden. Can you tell me what I can grow in that spot where the tomatoes were? Oh, you could start putting in winter crops where your tomatoes were.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Putting in some greens or something like that.
Yep. Okay. Deanne says, when will you know if you're going to leave the Facebook group intact? Sorry, I missed the answer. Good question. Yeah, like I said, we haven't made a final decision on that. We may leave it intact for you. We'll let you know by email. You'll know by Sunday when our registration closes down. All right, just 2 more minutes here, friends, and then we're going to close out for this evening. Just want to encourage you, if you want to get that fast action bonus, make sure to jump over there and sign up now. Go to borntogrow.net/join, and in the next couple minutes, you jump in there, you can get the fast action bonus. All right. What are your thoughts about cold frames, having windows replaced, and wondering if we should save some? How high above the soil should the glass be? Good question, Sherry, and this may be our last question for this evening. Yeah, if you have the materials like old windows or something like that, then you can set up a cold frame pretty easily. And how high above the soil will really kind of depend on how big of a crop you want to grow.
Yeah, what kind of crop? If you want to grow kale in there, you probably need to have it about 2.5, 3 feet off the ground. I mean, you need to have a decent sized structure. If you're just going to grow spinach and baby greens and radishes and carrots, things like that, you can have it 1.5 feet.
Yep, yep. All right, Jackie, if you are not seeing the email, make sure to see your spam folder or send us an email. We'll make sure to get you in, Jackie, don't worry. And otherwise, hey, it is time to wrap it up for this evening. So many questions. We wish we could answer them all. If you want your questions, to make sure that you get your questions answered, make sure to sign up in our elite membership. Once again, limited spots available in our elite membership. Once that fills up, it's filled up. And so we'd love to have you in there, and we stay on and answer every question in there. Unfortunately, we can't get to every question. That's too bad, isn't it? Because we see so many other really good questions that you have. Thanks so much for being part of our gardening challenge. Thanks so much for being here tonight, for giving of your time, your investment in your garden. We appreciate that. You know, that is a gift from you to us. It's our joy to be able to share, but you giving us your time, I mean, your time is very valuable. And so it's meaningful to us that you are willing to come on here, give us your time, and we hope this challenge and our question and answer times here and these bonuses have really been a blessing to you. Yep.
And it's always encouraging and exciting to us to hear what you're doing.
Yes, yeah. We can't wait to see what you grow in your garden this winter. So send us pictures. Let us know what you grow in your garden. Let us, you know, when you put these things to use, take pictures this winter and send them to us and let us to know what you're harvesting and stuff like that.
Post in the Facebook group.
Oh yeah, fantastic. That may be a good reason right there just to keep the Facebook group alive. All right, hope that you have a wonderful evening. We're gonna sign off tonight. And may God bless you, and may you have a wonderful time growing winter gardens this year. We'll be in touch. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.